person will not, the knowledge persons will not be that so that this kind of anarthas. But these are that Daksha Prajapati is a knowledge person, is a very great exalted devotees. The time of Brahma's son himself is a Brahma's son. So, but still, it's happening means is a Lord wants to play some leela. That's how it comes. So, the last week we discussed that mainly at enviousness. Then, excuse me. Then Shiva that. Story just quickly I tell that Sati went that arena after that initial things happened that Daksha is not continued that yajna initially, that when Lord Shiva not respected him. Later he arranged one more yajna. That yajna he was not invited either that Lord Shiva or Parvati Sati Devi, but still she was a daughter of Daksha. So she wants to attend that, even though she was saying that don't go. But even now it's happening like that, right? It's come from there only, like that Mataji is not listening to Prabhuji's. So normally they want to what they want. Similar, Sati wants to go that arena. She went along with that. She was servants. And we know that that is again he was insulted and he is not giving that the portion of what he's supposed to give it to Shiva. Nothing is given. Though Sati just herself sacrifice. So after he heard this thing, Shiva got very angry. So then he just put it from the hair. He just created Veerabhadra and sent that. And Veerabhadra went and destroyed that arena, and also he just cut down that his head. That was being your last week. So now, today, Brahma is coming to the picture because in this particular yajna, because this is Lord knows everything, right? Then Bhagavad Gita also there is a 7.26 saying Vedaham Samatitani Vartamanani Charjuna. The Lord what says, I know everything that has happened in the past and is going to happen in the future. So it means he knows what will going to happen. Lord Vishnu knows. That's the reason he was not in that arena. Lord Vishnu and Brahma also was not there in that arena. But yeah, this has happened already. What is the Vaishnava's qualities? Basically, if there is some conflicts between two devotees, there some senior Vaishnavas intervene them to console this, right? That convince or specify them. So the mistakes overdid, but because it's a devotee, Lord wants to that senior Vaishnava wants to bridge the gap. He wants to, it will not get carried over that because all are devotees, right? For senior Vaishnava, they are just equally look into everyone equally. So even that Bhagavad Gita says Samadarshana Pandidaha. So, so in this chapter, what we are going to see, so that how that demonstrate humility and forgiveness among devotees. That there are two things. One is the humility and forgiveness. When we are just develop the humility, that forgiveness will come. As I mentioned earlier, that humility will not come to so easily. Only that knowledge person can show that humility and even that forgiveness also. There are a lot of scriptural reference there are a lot of reference in our scriptures. We'll see in that by going on the other slides and all. So Lord Shiva establishes transcendental position that Brahma's wisdom is restoring harmony. Highlight that forgiveness please the Lord. That the forgiveness is the please the Lord. Ambarish Maharaj. There are a lot of exalted devotees like Draupadi forgive that Ashwatthama. So many there's that always is that forgiveness. We are not supposed to carry the enviousness again. That continues of the last week. So these are the things we are going to cover. But it's in this particular chapter, first Brahma decided to go and seek forgiveness along with all the devotees, like who just made that first in that particular place. So he just where that Shiva is there in that Kailasa, right? Kailasa is like how the Vaikunta for Krishna, Vishnu, Goloka for Krishna. Similar that this is about Shiva's about is Kailasa. So this Bhagavatam is very nicely explains about that Kailasa Parvat. So that place is very, very spiritually relevant and very peaceful. And all sages, those who wants to do the meditation, basically they wants to find that a nice place, right? That calm and peaceful. Uh, there is no disturbance. The spirituality, the aroma, it's around supposed to be there, right? We can't go and do the meditation any places. Even though that Bhagavad Gita, even Lord says that uh, is not encouraging that leaving everything and just go and forest and do the meditation and all. But still, after certain times, like just we have completed our responsibilities. That is a ashrama saying, right? That varna ashrama. Yes, ashramas this is right. Brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa, right? So when we are we are completing our grahastha responsibilities, after that, after 50 years, we have started to take the vanaprastha, because that is a preparation for the sannyasi. So even though we are being in that family situation, family condition, but still we have to be start to be living unattached. So after 50 years also still we want to grow our wealth, and we are worrying about our career. That is not, that is the irrelevant. If we see that Mahabharata, that Vidura came to that place where that Dhritarashtra and Gandhari took the shelter of Pandavas, right? He came and just give the chastise those people, Dhritarashtra and Dhritarashtra basically. Still, you are just sitting and eating that, eating like that. You are not realizing still and all, right? So it means that indication, that is a message for us. We are supposed to be started to unattachment with the things what we are attached very strongly in our day-to-day life, especially on family situations. So for that, we need some nice that atmosphere, right? That's very important. Whenever we just want to be in the reading, study, and everything, that we ensure that our circum circumstances be that calm and quiet, so we can just focus more if you want reading, or if you want to listening some lectures and all, right? That's similar. The meditation also, we need that much of atmosphere. That Kailas is one of the opulent place. Even they are just giving the level of that Vaikunda, because there are desert-free in that uh, Kailasas. And Kailasa, also that Ganges, Alaknanda, there is one river is there, Alaknanda, it's their equivalent to the, there is a Ganges. Because Sati Devi is comes and take bath in that river. So it is equivalent to Ganges, they are saying. So it's very appropriate. Why? Because the Ganges comes from the head of the Shiva himself, right? So he was in that particular place. So those rivers are equivalent to the Ganges, they say. So and again, Lord Shiva is beyond all material influence. Even though he is leading the tamo guna, that all the three gunas, right? The sattva guna is related to Vishnu, and rajo guna is with Brahma, and tamo guna is Shiva. What we are in, if not like that, tamo guna. So he is a fallen one. Nothing like that. He is in charge of that, but he is the exalted devotee. He is beyond all this material influence. Also, he wants to see, everybody wants our Acharya Srila Prabhupada wants to um, elevate our fallen souls. Similar that Lord Shiva also wants to, even though he is in charge of that Bhuta Pishasha, but still he wants to give some liberation to them also, right? And that's after certain conditions. So that is how he is very, even though it looks like he's a leading the tamoguna criteria, but he's a exalted person. He's a away beyond from the material influence. Shiva's abode is always pure and spiritual. That is the Srimad Bhagavatam says in 4th Canto, 6th, 10th sloka. And here we are talking about Lord Shiva's meditation. When that Brahma is entered into that arena, that Kailasha, Shiva is found in deep meditation of Vasudeva. So here one thing we have to understand that there was a big calamities happened. Like Daksha was insulted Lord Shiva, and moreover he lost his wife. Sati Devi just he lost, right? So after that, as a as a human, as a person, we are just get very angry, right? We are not able to focus on meditation and nothing because we are agitated. Our mind is get disturbed. But this is one of the greatest Vaishnava qualities. Whatever is happened, paradukka dukki, they are just there. They are worried only that people are the fallen people. Otherwise, they don't have any personal. Everything they are just looking into the same. Vaishnavas looking into the same. Whether it is a difficulties, whether it's a whether it's a good things are happening, they are just treated both are equally. And more thing, what is that? He just sat with the Kumaras. That Brahmasas saw him with the Kumaras and Kuvera. Kuvera, we know that he's the richest person, is the wealthiest, is a god for the wealth, and is maintained those things. And he was sitting with him, but still is unattached. And another one, the Kumaras, if he has like the Kumara, Kuvera, some richest persons, our consciousness will be different, right? But he was very unattached with that thing. And four Kumaras also that. We know that four Kumaras, right? Srimad Bhagavatam, that Ajaya Vijaya pastimes and all we heard about. Four Kumaras, basically the Brahma's son. Brahma wants to create progeny with more progeny, but they are not agreed. They want to be the Grahastha. They don't want to be Grahastha. So always there is a this one is that Prajapatis and there are two set of people under Brahma, right? Under Brahma sons two categories. One is they just promoting sannyasa, then other one's promoting the progeny. There's always fight between this. They are just trying to progeny that Narada and other people just go on preaching to take the sannyasa bit. So it's always that conflicts between the two sons, between the sons of Brahma. Here, four Kumaras was not ready to take Grahastha ashrama. They want to be a sannyasa ashrama only. So Brahma was very angry. That anger only Rudra is king, means Shiva is king. So there is a relation between that four Kumaras and Shiva, what I'm trying to say here. So and another that as I mentioned, even though there is a calamities, there is so much of troublesome happen with Shiva, but still he's focused on that, fixed his mind and Supreme Lord. So it is a greatest Vaishnava qualities what we are. It's not very easy. We can say that they are very exalted, but we can try practice. Like we are trying to start to see everything is a equal vision. That is an important lesson we could learn from here. Yeah, that is they mentioned symbolizes complete detachment from material dualities. The Vaishnava, especially, he's the greatest Vaishnava, right? Vaishnava Yatha Sampo. So Shiva is always a transcendental. That is a things that's covered in this particular slokas. And after that, Brahma is glorifying Lord Shiva. This is another quality. Like even we have seen that our temple also, we are seeing that Dandavat Pranam, irrespective of the age and the status of the person, and we are glorifying each other, right? If you see that our devotees always try to glorify other devotees. Whatever, even though they are doing small, or say, especially the senior Vaishnava, they are appreciating very lot, even though we are doing just small things as well. They're encouraging because we are just grown our bhakti. Because that appreciation is one of the things even everybody expect. Even though we are saying I'm just not I'm devotee, I'm not much expect those kind of things. But if somebody has come and say that, oh, you are just doing wonderful things, wonderful class you have done today, you are this wonderful seva you have done today, this and all. If we say that, even though we are externally, we are saying, Prabhu, it's menial service, this and all, we are saying, but still, and inside we might have that some kind of happiness. And moreover, that happiness, it is really requirement also, because that's the encouragement that persons can do more service. Oh, if I'm doing, then later, initially we all are that condition suits, right? Maybe we are expecting all these things by default. It's nothing wrong again. So, but that gradually, when we are keep on doing this, especially doing service, it is that the humility will get developed. We keep on doing. It's one of the times we are doing, or that namesake we are doing, or just for showcasing to someone, some senior Vaishnavas we are doing. That will anyway it will come out. Anyway, it will the people later it is even ourselves will not get satisfied that much in later stage. But when we are continuously doing this service, when the senior Vaishnavas appreciating our effort and all, so we want to do more. So at least we are just pleasing our senior Vaishnava. Obviously, we are just pleasing senior Vaishnava, we are just pleasing Krishna himself. So that's what the Lord wants, that the thing, right? So that later, it's gradually the humility will develop. If we see that everyone is just introspect ourselves, that down the line 5 years or 6 to 7 years before, where we were, how we were, and now how we are. So if that is the greatest example, how we are response to the people, how we are treat that situation management. This and all, there are a lot of difference in our this movement when we are growing. Right? Initially, maybe we are just a lot of agitating, and we may not be that. We may not be the afford the things. We easily just broke down and all. But now maybe we are like after 5 years or 6 years journey, and again especially that the support of senior Vaishnava, we know all that senior Vaishnava is always there for us. Any issues, any concerns we can discuss. Those things will help us. So that's how what I'm trying to tell here. The Vaishnava quality. That Brahma glorifies the glorification is a very important in some extent, but like that there is a this one our Sikshashram every day morning we are just reciting, right? So we have to be just humble like a grass, right? Tolerant like a tree. So that's very important. But initially, that appreciation is required. Here, that glorification is again that Vaishnava's quality. He is just glorifying. It's not for namesake. It is a come like that Kunti prayer. Like there are a lot of prayers in Bhagavatam. We have said Gajendra Moksha prayer, Gajendra prayer, Kunti prayer, Bhishma prayer, Narada prayers, Arjuna prayers. So many prayers are there. Exalted prayers are there. So the glorification is one of the primary quality of the Vaishnava. So here Brahma praises Shiva as is a non-different and distinct from the Lord. Like you just almost say that as how Shiva, our Lord Krishna, we are praising like that only saying that. There is an analogy also given here, like what is the difference between milk and curd, right? So even though there are a lot of milk products like paneer, curd, buttermilk, cheese, everything's come from the milk, right? But the source is the milk, correct? So that like that, Krishna is the source. So that curd is a kind of is a milk product only, but there is a difference, slight difference between the curd and milk, right? It's the processed one. Milk is a pure form. It's that curd is the processed one, immediate that thing from the milk. Curd, paneer, and all it is after that process. But immediate process after the milk, it's curd. It comes. So that's the reason we are always worshipping. Like we are not worshipping Shiva, but ideally we are not. See, there is another misunderstanding. People are that always there is a fight. The Saivitis and Vaishnavitis, right? And that Shiva is a big, or Krishna, Vishnu is a big, and all this is. So see, if I am appreciating someone, I'm glorifying someone, it doesn't mean I'm just defaming somebody else. If I'm appreciating one devotee, you are just did wonderful job, you are amazing, you are just greatest. It doesn't mean other person is a fallen one or is a smaller person like that. We are not that our conscience is not supposed to be like that. Even that we are just believing that Krishna is the supreme, but we are just giving the respect to all the demigods as well. And Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. In that angle, we can see that even scriptures we have seen that many places that Shiva is get praised, and he is always the Kshetra Balagain of the many of the our ISKCON temples, especially wherever that Krishna's pastimes happen. Gopeshwar, Mahadev, and Vriddhas that in Vrindavan is there, and similar here Dwaraka also. That's one of the Shiva temple is there. So there are many temple. Shiva is there as a Kshetra Balaka. It means Shiva is the biggest Vaishnava. That is we have to just look into that. And Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava that is serving Lord Vishnu. Is always meditating. Again, how that Krishna is the supreme and Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. Is 24 hours is meditating on Lord himself. Even that there is the situation is not in a very nice way, like that Sati is passed away, but still he just in that that's why he's saying Lokamangala. Shiva is saying about the Lokamangala. Is always meditation on Supreme Lord. And one more quality is here, what they are trying to do. Brahma advised demigods to surrender Shiva's lotus feet. That is again another quality. One is that the glorification. Another one is that we have to surrender to the Shiva. Subordinate souls must always surrender to the Supreme. So connected with the modes, he remains pure. That is we have seen that. Vaishnava Yata Shambho. That is again in this particular chapter, 42nd slokas talks about that Shiva's special qualities. So basically, in this particular chapter, it's a lot of glorification of the Shiva. That is a thing. So I'm just going to the next one. Again, that is Shiva's forgiveness. It's another qualities of the Vaishnava. Humility heals conflict. Even that the problems happen, that Shiva Brahma is coming to bridge the gap. Forgiveness please the Lord. See, there are a lot of, as I mentioned, that forgiveness is one of the greatest quality of the Vaishnava. The scriptures, they are giving a lot of examples. Shishupala is always trying to chastise Krishna, right? But still he gave that time. So up to that 100 offense, I'll just accept. After that only I just finish. That is the thing exactly happened in the Ashtamedha Yajna of the Yudhishthira when he conducted. That place, he just killed him that. But 100 times he just patiently listened Krishna. Just forgave him because he gave that promise to his mother, Shishupala's mother. And Draupadi, again, she forgave Ashwatthama. So Ashwatthama killed her 4 sons while sleeping. 4 or 5 sons while sleeping. But still she wants to forgive that Ashwatthama. That is again, it's how painful it is. You can understand that. But still she wants to forgive that because of his Brahmana and the son of Ashwatthama, Dronacharya and all. Reasons may be vary, but still that quality we have to look into that. So that quality already is there. They are finding. See, whenever we are just chastise somebody or praise somebody, we decided and we are finding the reasons why we have to glorify, why we have to chastise a person, right? If I want to found the mistakes, I can found the mistakes, even that other people are just seeing that good qualities, but I can just find that some shortcomings in that particular things itself. So that's how they have that quality, like these Vaishnavas have that qualities of forgive that people. So they are finding the reasons. Like Draupadi says that he is a son of Brahmana and he himself is a Brahmana, like that. And Vasishtha is forgive that who's that Vishwamitra. We always have the envious. He was a Kshatriya, right? He was a Kshatriya, but he came he just adopt that sannyasa because of the enviousness with Vasishtha Maharishi. He wants to be he wants that position, Vasishtha's position she wants to. So that's the reason I told earlier also, right? Even though initially we are doing that as a tick box activity, but the namesake we are doing, later it will be an habit, and we will also in the path of Krishna consciousness, in the path of the that movement, right? So that Vishwamitra initially came because he just very disappointed when Vasishtha is not giving that Kamadhenu to him. So that's how he was very upset. But that's the reason he took that sannyasa order also. But later he became a Rajarishi, right? He became this one. What is that? There is a one title called. He got it that Brahmarishi. Yes, Vasishtha himself to give that things Brahmarishi when he attained that quality of the humility in the later part. So till the now, that is previously was a Kshatriya, right? The Kshatriya quality was there with him, even though he was trying to be a sannyasi, but on and off that Kshatriya qualities comes in him, and that's why he again getting falling down 2-3 times. We have seen that lot of stories on that. That we are not going into all those things, but yeah, Vasishtha gave that Brahmarishi the later part when he developed that quality of the humility. And Rama forgive the Ravana, like at the last minute also he gave that Indrupoi Naleva, that's just go home and just come back tomorrow. Says, right? He's giving this, it's still the time you can just think. That's the opportunities he has given to Ravana. And Kaikeyi, how she was the reason that Rama took the Vanavas. But still, he don't want to disrespect her. He just give the same affection, same things with Kaikeyi. So Ambarish Maharaj, the great example that we are talking about that forgiveness. So Ambarish Maharaj, that Durvasa Rishi, right? The small reasons he just chastised Ambarish. So sometimes what happen in our life also, even though we have not done any mistakes, maybe we are just getting this kind of things will come in our life. How to manage that situation, that's matter. This is one of the greatest example, Ambarish Maharaj. He just accept, like he says, whatever you wish, you want. The Lord wants to, I'm getting killed, it'll be fine. Then Lord protected him. We know that. Like always, Lord is very pleased when that devotees have that forgiveness mode. And Vishnu and Brahumani, that also we know, right? That Brahumani wants to test it who is greatest. So he just uh, uh, went on the kick of their lords himself. Lord's my chest only he kicked up. So Mahalakshmi went out of from this chest because she always residing that place, right? Brahmani is just offended, Lord Vishnu. But what Lord Vishnu did that? He just massaging his leg, right? That is the greatest quality. So glorifying devotees brings harmony. Real renunciation is a remembrance of Krishna. We are always that is a renunciation. It doesn't mean you have to left everything and just go to the forest or some lonely place and meditating. That will not happen. Even if it is a mind, you are in a lonely place. It's your mind is not in that not accommodate that thing, there is no use, right? So what actual renunciation, being in that where you are and just remembrance of Krishna. That is a one great thing we could learn from there. Then later, what are the lessons? So, we know that why that Brahma came here to ask the demigods and that who are this the place of that that reasons reason for that Sati's things happened. That's why, yeah. So they just came along with them to ask them to take a forgiveness. The Lord, yes, Lord is very merciful, right? He is always uh, ready to show their mercy. When Shiva, as I mentioned earlier, even though he is in charge of the Tamoguna, but he is not lesser than like how that Krishna is showing their mercy. Similar, um, Shiva also is unattached to the things. That is the greatest one, right? Even we did some offense, and later we just when seeking this forgiveness, that things we have to develop. That is a very great problem. See that Acharya is always ready to forgive, ready to help us to grow in our spiritual path. But our enviousness, our ego is not allowed to go and speak our problems openly. So we have seen many people have that problems, and certain things they can themselves they can fix it, but certain things they need the guidance. But still, the people hesitate to talk to senior Vaishnavas because if I say that, then what they will think about me. Actually, I am the person, right? What they will think means what? That is I am that person, have that quality. So I want to develop, I have to go and speak like these are the problems I have. These are the things not going well. So when we just call out our problem, then only doctor give that proper medicine, right? Similar, we have to open up to our our Siksha Guru, especially because we may not be reach out to Lord or Lord listen everything, but he will give that solution through that various mode. Like he's come through the Guru. Like that's how we just all got the Guru, and he'll just give the solution through some Siksha Guru also, Siksha Gurus. Right? Again, we are just reaching out our Guru Maharaj. It's not easy because so many people are under him. So we can't just give the solution to each and everyone to on and off, right? Every time. So that's the reason the Siksha Guru concept is that whatever. Hare Krishna. So just a minute, let us share. Right? So we are just open up with our spiritual our Siksha Guru. That is a very important bit what we have to understand. So just a minute, that where we were. Yeah. Shiva's forgiveness, that forgiveness and another quality what we just learned from here. And see, real renunciation is a remembrance of Krishna in all the time, right? That is how we discussed. But that is the greatest example, Kunti Maharani. She always wants to be in trouble, right? Because that time, at least generally, that is she knows that how that people in she's the example. Like she's giving that message. Generally, in Kali Yuga, people will go when to the Lord when they have a problem. Normally, if I am just have everything within me, like everything in me means I'm just little rich person, I'm knowledge person. I have everything what I want. So we may not go to the Lord. Everything is there, then why? Like that consciousness will not come at all. But when I'm just in a trouble, when I was in the trouble, when I'm in trouble, so maybe then I can just start to go to temple, start to pray and so that's the reason Kunti Maharani understood that she is giving me all the calamities all the time, so I could remember all the time to you. So that is a no one may you go and ask this kind of um, thing because we all want to be sophisticated. We want to be just be in comfort zone. So, but Kunti Maharani wants another way, like because she wants to remember Lord Krishna. She knows that everything is a duality in that Kali Yuga. There is a There is a no happy, no sorrow, nothing. Nothing is a permanent. Everything is a relative one. Nothing the permanent things in that Kali Yuga. And devotee relationship or sacred and eternal. That was yeah, we talked about. So again, as I mentioned, that story is that Brahma came and satisfies Lord Krishna. But again, satisfied Lord Krishna, it is a, as I mentioned, is a beyond that material influence. You don't have any duality. But why that things it comes again? It's a lesson for coming generations. We could learn from that. We have to do that develop that qualities. Most of the leelas of Lord is the message for us. That Kali Yuga, how it will be, we know. That's the reason we are saying that Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. That Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, we have answers for everything. So that here that they're just giving some of this chapter basically mainly is talk about that qualities of Shiva's quality. So he is always meditating on Vishnu because we see that always he is the posture of that tapasya mode. He is always meditating on Vishnu. So the people are asking Shiva is the supreme or Krishna is supreme. Answer is here itself. Because if someone supreme, he no need to meditate upon beyond them, right? That somebody is meditating, it means they're just meditating upon somebody, right? That is Shiva is meditating always. That is on Vishnu. And this again we already discussed. Even though he is a represent Tamoguna, but he is not he is untouched by it. Still he is an exalted Vaishnava. And protector of devotees is called Asutosha. So easily we can just make him happy. And there are devotees, even Rama himself worshipped Linga, right? Ramalinga, Rameshwar. We heard Rameshwaram, we heard about that. So that's how Lord is worshipping him, and Ravana worshipped him. And how we get to know he is very easily get pleased, and he is giving like Shiva is giving boon like that left and right. If somebody is like Asuras like that, you know that like this Ravana is the greatest devotee of Shiva, Shiva devotee only. And even though we know that somebody right that somebody some Ashura, I don't remember his name, he just is sand himself and he said he's get fired, right? He's just taking kind of boons and all. Then the Lord came as a Mukini Rupa and made him that get fired. Like he tried to kill Shiva himself. He took a bone from Shiva and he just want to test it with him himself. So and that's how Shiva is very easily pleased, and he's just giving a boon like that. And later Vishnu or Krishna came in some other form and fixed that problem like that. So always it's happened. That's how we can get to know that he's a very uh, kind and very easily can get pleased. And so see, in our ISKCON, ideally we are this primarily we are praying Krishna, and there is a no Shiva, right? We are not praying Shiva, but there is a always there is a connection Shiva and Lord Krishna. How? See, if any avatar comes, even Shiva is taking some of the form. If you see that Ramayana, that Hanuman is the incarnation of Shiva himself. He wants to serve Lord. So he came and part of that Leela. And also is Vishnu Sahasranama, there is a one say, Rama Rama Rameti Rami Rami Manorami, Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varani. There is a one slang it is that. That is again that Shiva is told to Parvati Mata. If we just say that Rama this many times, that this much of times we are praising Lord Krishna himself. So and that's how even that Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a connection. Anybody can say that how it connected? Where is Shiva in place in Chaitanya Charitamrita? Hare Krishna. I'm audible, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are
Hare
audible.
Krishna, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita is coming as a Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya is a like combination of Shiva and Krishna. Shiva and Krishna. So he only just seeing that condition of the material world. He wants to Krishna to cover, pray for that. That's the reason Chaitanya comes descended in this material world. So there is always a connection in large all the leelas. Shiva also is there. What I'm saying. So Vaishnavam Yata Shambho, again that 12th canto also it is talking about that he is the greatest Vaishnava. So that we are just seeing a few more qualities of Vaishnava qualities in Shiva. That is among all Vaishnavas, Lord Shiva is the greatest. That's what we understand. And this verse establishes Shiva's position is unique, not independent of God, but the topmost duty of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. And even Bhagavad Gita is talking about that. Rudranam Shankarak Chasmi. What is that? Among all the Rudras, I am Shankara. Lord Krishna acknowledges Shiva as his own expansion in these words. That 10th chapter, 23rd sloka is talk about that. How Krishna is acknowledging Rudra, Shiva is his expansion. So another thing that Srimad Bhagavatam again, 4th canto, 1st chapter is talking about that Lord Shiva is not different from Krishna, yet not the same. We discussed, right? Milk and curd, that things. And is always observed in chanting the holy name of the Lord, Rama and Krishna. That is in Brahma Samhita is saying. Aradhanam Sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam Param. Of all kinds of worship of Lord Vishnu is the supreme. In Padma Purana, Purana says about that. And again, Srimad Bhagavatam 8th canto 5th chapter says, Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samarchanam. Higher than the worship of Vishnu is the worship of his devotees. Always Vaishnava Seva. He's talking about that Vaishnava Seva. Lord always pleased when that his devotees get pleased. Even he just okay to get the chastised, but he's not bear with that when his devotees get chastised. Like that Ambarish Maharaj story again, that example. Okay, and again that. See, another one great quality, if you see that this entire episode, where it comes from, because Shiva is not respected, Daksha. That's how that episode starts, right? But here, when Brahma comes, that when he just trying to satisfy Shiva, he just get down from his seat and just welcome that Brahma and other demigods and all. So it's a contrary, right? Why he was sat in that time of Daksha visited the arena, but here he just welcoming Brahma by getting up that proper etiquette we follow. So there is a question why it is a difference. One is that when the Daksha came, he was in the meditation on Supreme God himself. That is a one reason. And here he giving the respect to Brahma, even though he is an equivalent position or greater than that Brahma, but he came from that Brahma himself, right? He's my father. Like how Vamana Dev, when Kashyapa Muni came the arena, he just took him that give the obeisances. He just and give the respect. So even though Vamana Dev is the incarnation of the Lord himself, but still he gave that respect to that position. Like even that Nanda Maharaj, Krishna gave the respect to Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Mai, Devaki Mata, and all we have seen that. He just, even though he is the supreme, but he is always an example. Lord Krishna is always be an example, right? So if you see that he took that Shandipani Ashram, why? He knows everything. He's a full of Satchidananda. But still he just went to that Gurukula because he just want to show that example how it's supposed to be. Similar, he did that 3 times Sandhya Vandana, that when he went with the chariot of Uddhava. But that time also he just stopped in between and do that Sandhya Vandana, correct? So he is not required for him because he is the supreme, whom he is just doing all these things. Because he just wants to show that example to the society. So that's how here also that Shiva is just get up and give a respect to Brahma. That is a proper etiquette. And again, that's what is that we discuss that pure devotees do not have any difference between anger and mercy. Because there is no duality in that, right? Whatever it is, it is. They take it as it is. And that true Vaishnava is the paradukka dukki. Because always they are worried about that others suffering. That exactly even Srila Prabhupada is a paradukka dukki. He's just always worried about that conditioned souls. That's how he just after 70 years, he just put it all those efforts, right? And he went to the Western countries with a lot of difficulties and all. Why? What's necessary to do all those things? We will do that. Even we are not going to the next street also. That's how. Uh, that's how that Vaishnavas and is a forgiveness and humility. It is a primary things to overcome that envious and affects. And he's Lokamangala. Again, we discussed because he's always in the meditation of the Lord. And recently we went in Kumbhakonam Yatra, as many of you attended that Adi Kumbheshwar temple. So Lord selected him, Shiva is the prime priest. So that's how that's a level of thing Lord Shiva is having that. So that is how these are the qualities. Again, these are a few more. That humility, we discussed compassion, detachment, and observance of the holy name. This and all we already discussed. Remembrance of the Lord. That is the main important things. And in Srila Prabhupada teachings also, a couple of verses discuss about that. Lord Krishna is the Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. He wants to see everyone in Krishna consciousness. And a devotee should never disrespect Lord Shiva. This is an important one. We are all supposed to understand that when we are using the same thing for our preaching as well. So we are not supposed to disrespect of any demigods. See, we are just, as I mentioned, we are praising somebody. It doesn't mean we are just defaming someone else. No, it is nothing that. The people are misunderstood that, but our consciousness shouldn't be like that. We are disrespect any demigods, especially for Lord Shiva. That is again the Bhagavatam itself says, Sri Vishnu Hirdayam Sambho Hirdayam Sri Hari. Lord Vishnu resides in the hearts of Shiva, and Shiva resides in the heart of Vishnu. Both of them, each other in their hearts. That is as Skanda Purana says. Okay, what lessons we can take it from today's session? So, first we have to avoid criticizing devotees. It's not only devotees, anyone. That is a Vacho Vegam. There is a sloka is there. So we have to utilize our tongue properly in terms of consuming prasadam or talk about that anybody's. We have talk only good about others. It's not necessary to criticize anybody, especially the gossip things and all. So that is a lesson from Daksha because he was criticizing Shiva in front anyway. That is things we have to be very careful what we are talking, especially when that senior devotees are in place. Approach humbly to seek forgiveness. That Brahma is trying to pacify. He is just trying to bridge the gap. Even though they have done some mistakes, he wants to get things are fixed. So that's the reason he just took over all of them and went to Shiva to seek forgiveness. So that is how we are supposed to be. If when devotees have some conflicts, it's not like that we have to put that oil on that fuel on that fire. We have to try to help them to come out of that differences. So that is the one greatest lesson from Brahma and be compassionate and detached. How Shiva is, even though there are so much of issues, like that greatest troublesome that Sati is past, but still, but he is not agitated. He was very compassionate and detached. So it's not an easy for us, but actually we have to develop that quality. Taking shelter of the Lord's lotus feet equals to the merit of pilgrimage. Again, see, wherever the Vaishnava is there, the greatest Vaishnava like Vidura Maharaj, that place itself is a pilgrimage. So normally we are going for yatras for the reason we are just take that purify ourselves, right? But when some great devotees like our Guru Maharaj or that exalted devotees are coming to our place, that self is that they are kind of moving pilgrimage. They are just carrying that things. What punya what things we are going to get in that yatra pilgrimage, that they carry their own. So we are just taking the shelter of those great Vaishnavas and just touch their lotus feet. That's how we can just simply like how we know that all the story, right? That Shiva and Parvati was there with their kids like Ganesha and Kartikeya, and Nardimuni comes and give that one mango, and they say that they just give it to any one of you just without cut. Then again they say that one, how can we just without, they just give them competition that who will just cover that entire world first, that person will get that. Kartikeya just took his peacock and just move on, right? That because he's have that facility. But Lord Ganesha with his belly and all, he can't move also. And then his Vagana also, it's just small, that small, not rat, something like rat kind of thing. So said what he did wisely, he just circumference Shiva and Mata Parvati and get that mango. She then he just justified that they are the entire world. So um, so that's how that what I'm trying to tell, that when the great Vaishnavas devotees comes, we can just pray them that it is equivalent to that we visited the pilgrimage. And also just tolerate the Trinada Vishwanichena, we discussed about that. The Amrish Maharaj, Vidura he just walked out of that palace, right, after chastising that Duryodhana. Do you know that the reason why he just left out that palace? He was there from very long. Duryodhana he knows Duryodhana also. It is not like that suddenly he talks, you immediately get out of that place. It is nothing like that. But actually, the external meanings of Duryodhana chastised him that's the reason left out. But internal meaning that the pure devotees will not be stay that place where that Lord get insulted. They are not looking at our themselves. They are looking at that how the Lord treated. Because Lord message is not taken seriously. Lord was insulted. Duryodhana was trying to just bind him, right? The Lord himself. So these are the things you don't like it. That's the main reason is get out of that arena, place actually. And Srila Prabhupada says our success depends on how well we cooperate to please Krishna. That is the essence. Brahma at last, what happened? That Brahma reconciled, Shiva forgave, that and Yajna resumed. And peace arises from humility and chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The peace was achieved by Lord Shiva's mercy. Hare Krishna. I'm stopping here. Prabhu, yeah, anybody have any questions? I'll try to answer if anything.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So thank you so much for a wonderful session, Prabhu. You took us through, whole qualities of Lord Shiva and the Vaishnavas and important lessons from this chapter. Very, very inspiring to see how great personalities like Brahma and Shiva and other great Vaishnavas, the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us the wonderful qualities which we have to, imbibe in our, which will help us in our spiritual progress and whole pastimes, as you rightly said, that, Lord Shiva is above all this, but is still Lord Narayana and Lord Shiva, Brahma, they do this kind of leela by the will of the Lord to teach all of us that how, in spite of having such a big calamity, how Lord Shiva, forgave and, finally, he accepted Brahma's, request. So very inspiring chapter in terms of uh, devotees behavior, devotees achar, how it should be. And you very well took us through all the wonderful qualities which we should focus on learning from Lord Shiva. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for this wonderful session. Anybody has any question for Prabhu? Okay. So if no question is there, then